Hi everybody, this is Robin from Nistock Farms and I want to welcome you to our virtual vendor booth tour. This is all new to us and we're old school, emphasis on the old, so forgive our video skills and herky-jerky presentation, but we'll do the best we can. We're under fluorescent lights right here, so the colors on some of the dyed items I'm going to show you might seem a little weird. If you decide you really need color specificity, I'm always happy to send samples of anything before you make a purchase. Most other people doing this video online festival are doing it live. We have very spotty connectivity, so we are not live. I'm pre-recorded. And so if you are watching this and have a question and ask me, I won't be able to answer it in real time because this isn't real time. But I will absolutely answer it. We have a website, which is www.nistockfarms.com. There is a contact us page on there. We always answer your queries. Problem is, sometimes nistockfarms.com emails land in people's spam folders. So if you don't hear from us within 12 to 24 hours, please go check your spam folders because we never ignore a question. Most of the things I'm going to show you are on the website. Some are not. They're booth-only types of special items. If you see a thing that's on the website, you can buy it right off the website with the Buy Now function. It figures out your sales tax for you if you are in New York State. It also figures out your shipping up to $200. If you order goods that go over $200, we will have to figure out your shipping and send you a separate PayPal invoice for that. We do take PayPal online. We don't take credit cards over the phone or online. It's kind of our SOP for security reasons. But we can do PayPal online and we are happy to take a check by snail mail. We ship from New York State, 14873 zip code. We're in the southern tier. Oh, and I should have made introductions. I'm Robin and my husband Andy's running the camera. Say hi, dear.
Hi.
And our farm is a sheep farm. We have a flock of about 130 sheep. We have registered Cotswolds and crossbreds of Border Leicester, Romney, Corriedale, CVM and Rambouillet, Finn. As the flock evolved over the years, I picked breeds that gave me attributes that I wanted. So we have very specific in the Cotswold and we have mixed in the crossbreds. I think I've covered everything. If there's something I've forgotten, by all means get in touch with us. You can either use a PM through Facebook or you can send us that email from our website as I referenced. So the first thing I'm going to launch into is raw fleece. All our raw fleeces are coated during hay feeding season, which means they literally wear a little coat, and that makes the fleeces be perfectly clean and free from VM, the dreaded vegetable matter. The one exception is our rams. We don't coat them because they tend to beat on each other and it's hard to make sure somebody doesn't get a leg caught up in a leg strap when they're fighting, or tussling I should say. They don't really fight. But anyway, they're still very clean because we have very good hay feeders. If you are interested in a raw fleece, we don't skirt as we shear. It's just us two in the shearer and I don't have time to do a good job skirting. So each fleece goes in a bag with a name tag, and then as it's reserved, I pull it out and skirt it, and at that time I will know the final weight, and at that time I will let the buyer know what the cost is going to be, figure out your shipping, blah blah blah. All our coated fleeces are $18 per pound. The uncoateds are $15 per pound, but they're still very clean. We generally sell the raw fleeces by the whole fleece or the half fleece. Half fleeces are divided head to tail, so you'll get a right side or a left side, not a front or a back. The one exception is our Cotswold fleeces. We have so many Cotswolds that I don't put all of them on the website individually. Some of them I tear apart for other purposes. We have yarn made, different things. That we do sell by the pound. So that's going to be useful if you are in the Livestock Conservancy's Shave 'em to Save 'em program, because we can sell just a pound of nice Cotswold locks just by the pound. That function is on the bottom of the raw fleece page on our website, so you can go there to buy, or you can get hold of me directly to buy. And I'll just show you quickly a couple of fleeces I have here. Like I say, I don't normally have them skirted, but here's one Cotswold that I did have skirted for my own purposes, and I just wanted to illustrate how nice and clean it is without any VM. The locks are nice and discreet. They come right apart with no trouble, and so they would be good for spinning, crafting, what have you. I have some that are higher luster than this. This isn't a particularly lustrous one. I have some that are really knock your eyes out shiny. There again, if you have a specific purpose for a fleece, be sure and let me know. If you're going to be combing it, I will select something that will be best for that, and maybe it won't be quite as curly. By the same token, if you need curls for tail spinning or Santa bearding or something like that, please tell me so that I can pick the curliest ones I have. So those are my Cotswolds, and any questions, please feel free to ask. And then we'll move over here to my crossbreds. This was a colored girl, and I just wanted to show you that because they are not coated during the summer, the tips will often brown somewhat from a little bit of sun kissing, and that may or may not impact you. If you want a pure color yarn, you might find that it browns a little more than you want. On the other hand, it does make a very pretty yarn if you like heather colors. It doesn't impact how you take dye. And again, these were coated, so you can see how darn clean they are. There's no chaff, nothing in there, right down to the skin. So those are our fleeces. If I've missed something, which is possible, I apologize. Just inquire any way you can, and I will absolutely answer you. Okay, grab a cup of coffee. This is going to take a little while. Okay, I'm going to run through the roving that we currently have on the shelf. All these colors are on the website right now. All the roving is $2.25 per ounce or $32 a pound. You can buy as little or as much as you want. First up is Toast. This is a blend of several Morit fleeces, CVM Rambouillet breed. It's just a nice light brown, a warm sandy color, very squishy from the CVM Rambouillet influence. Spins very nicely. This would be soft enough to go next to the skin. Not as soft as a fine merino or a fine Rambouillet, but soft. Next up is natural colored gray Cotswold. This is color pewter, and it makes a very pretty medium gray heathered yarn. This is a couple of gray Cotswold fleeces batched together. Each Cotswold has different colors of gray on their body, light gray, dark gray. So when you put it together in a roving, sometimes you get some heathery variegation, which I like a lot. If gray really doesn't excite you, you can always over dye this. It's light enough to dye, and I've found that any color you dye on a gray, if you want to then do color work and use the original gray with those colors, they will always look nice together and not clash. Anyway, Cotswold. And all these Cotswold rovings are eligible for the Shave 'em to Save 'em program because they're straight Cotswold. So that's the natural color one. I don't have white right now. I wish I did, but I don't. Mills are shut down for the most part, and so I don't have any available. In the future I will. Okay, first color up is Twilight Time. This is straight Cotswold. This is a blend of orange, kind of a purpley cherry, and spruce, which sounds ghastly, but when you put the colors together in a yarn, it just makes a nice warm, I like it. There's some green, there's some purple, there's some teal. They break each other up, but yet they don't overwhelm each other. So there's Twilight Time. I've got 4 ounces left of Cherry Pie, which is straight Cotswold. It's kind of a crimson color with a pale straw color and a light brown, which to my eye does look just like cherry pie crust with maybe a little juice showing through. Only 4 ounces of this left, and that is reflected on the website. The pound button is disabled, and only the ounce button is available. Next one is Sunrise. Sunrise is straight Cotswold. It is yellow, pink, and a light sky blue. Very cheerful, nice and bright. Just what we need on a gray day, which here in New York State we have frequently until about June 15th. Now we have Wild Berry. Wild Berry is straight Cotswold. It was supposed to be 2 different colors of red and blue. The breads kind of ate each other, but yet when you put them together in a yarn, you just get kind of a nice purple with little blips of blue, which is a little surprising because it looks like the blue would really jump out based on the roving, but that's why I like to do a sample skein so you can see what it really will be like in real life. Then we have Easter Egg. Easter Egg is pink, purple, and a pale blue, so pale it doesn't even really look blue. But anyway, you put it together in a yarn and you get a nice variegated pink, purple, and pale color. I have actually overdyed this, and the lightest parts will pick up the dye nicely and totally change the look. So that's just an option if you decide, once you get it, I don't really think, you can always overdye it. Next is Blue Lagoon. Blue Lagoon straight Cotswold. It is teal, chartreuse, and black. I really like it. The black kind of gives it a dramatic flair. You think chartreuse, oh my god, but it works. It works all together in there. And then the last one is Forget Me Not, which is similar to the Blue Lagoon, except it has no black. And the blue is more of a sky blue instead of the teal from the Blue Lagoon. So you get a nice blue-green variegated color. All these rovings are very, are very easy to spin. Cotswold is a long stapled wool, and it is very forgiving of beginners who might not have their drafting and their treadling down very well. And it's been well prepared, so it's very easy to spin. Alright, now let's talk about spinning bats. I make big bats from Cotswold, and I sometimes add other things in. Sometimes a little bit of glitter is nice. I make the bats on a Fancy Kitty drum carder. It's the big size, and it usually, or it does, make a bat that is about 2 feet wide by 3 feet long. And it gets run through a couple of times, so it's a very nice smooth preparation. You could spin from it, you can felt with it. This is a little piece I did, felted it. It took me about 20 minutes. I used a rolling pin and bubble wrap just to prove that it can be done. I know some people say only fine wool's felt, which isn't true. You can felt almost anything, except it's going to have a different texture depending on the fiber. Cotswold doesn't get hard. It has some squish to it, but it does have good tensile strength. So you can make a nice sheet, and it's a soft felt. So if one wanted to, one could felt with these bats or spin with them. I like to keep a tissue paper in them when I send them out so that they don't start to felt to themselves in transit. So that's what that tissue paper is all about. I have a couple that are straight Cotswold, and those would be eligible for the Shave 'em to Save 'em program. All the bats are $24. All the bats are between 5 and 6 ounces, which is nice because it gives you enough finished product to actually do something with, as opposed to just a teeny little sampler. So I have this kind of pretty lilac colored one, which is straight Cotswold. I have this guy, which is morning colors. I actually took the Sunrise roving and ran it through the drum carder. It really broke the colors up. So it's pink and yellow, and the pink and the yellow made some peach here and there. There's a little blue in there. This one is also straight Cotswold. Then I got crazy and I started adding things in, and these others have Silk or Angelina or Firestar in them. I'll talk about Angelina and Firestar in a little bit. So we've got this pretty blue-green one, blue Cotswold with green Silk and green Angelina sparkles. We have a chartreuse that actually has some black in it. A little hard to see because it's layered in there, but it's also got some Firestar that's kind of a pickle color, so you're going to get some shine from it. I did another sunrise bat. This one has, I think it's blue Calypso Angelina in it, so it has a blue haze to it when spun. This nice cherry red one has white Firestar, which will give it a glimmer. It's not as sparkly as the Angelina. Firestar is a little more subtle, but it'll give a nice extra shine to a spun yarn. This nice royal blue color has some Firestar in it. Here's another morning mist colored one. This has some Angelina that's more of a yellow cast. I don't know if you're picking up the sparkle here in this light, but it's there. I have a nice purple that has some Angelina in it. Yeah, just Angelina. And then I've got a red that's got white silk in it, which I think will be kind of fancy. That'll really pop when you spin it. The white silk bits will pop out. So there you go. If you see something you like, these are not on the website. You'll have to send me a PM or contact me through the website, which again is nistockfarms.com, and say, oh, I like the blue one with the green silk in it, or I like the pickle colored one, or something like that. And we'll get you fixed up. These come and go, so I never know what I'm going to have, but this is what I have at the moment. And now for something completely different. These are 100% Cotswold wool blankets. The Cotswold is from our flock, our animals. The gray is natural, so it's our white and our gray animals. It was spun to the weaver's specification at one mill, and then we shipped it to the weaver, and she made these beautiful blankets. They're 43 by 72 inches. We have 3 different patterns. This is a plated twill with this interesting crisscross pattern. We have herringbone in solid white, and we have a gray and white herringbone also. I finished the edges on all of them, so they have this pretty twisted fringe. I like this. I think it looks nice. And they are each $249. Everything done here in the U.S. with U.S. wool and work. These make really nice presents. If somebody's getting married, how many blenders do they really need? Get them something that'll be an heirloom forever. Cotswold wool blankets made from right here in the USA. Okay, all our yarn is Cotswold yarn from our flock. Even within an individual breed, there is some variation between individuals. So for yarn that I wanted to have for knitting purposes, I chose yarn or chose fleeces that had perhaps a softer hand, a nicer drape, and I had that milled into a couple of different weights. I have 3-ply sport and I have 3-ply bulky at the moment. I hope to have worsted weight again in the future, but I don't have it at the moment. We wanted to introduce people to Cotswold knitting yarn, so I asked a good friend to design a pattern for us. She came up with Falling Leaves and Twisting Vines, which is a pattern made in 2 sections. The border section and the body section are done separately but joined. I love these little leaves on the end. The pattern has both written and charted. She has a legend there, and then it has both written and charted instructions. So if you're a chart person, you're all set. If you're an instruction person, you're all set. And she has her email in here someplace if you run into trouble, so you could get hold of her, although you shouldn't. So we can send just the pattern for 6, or the pattern and a kit, which is 2 skeins of yarn, for $51.50. Your choice of yarn. I haven't had it made out of my natural gray Cotswold yet, the sterling, but I think it would look really, really nice. All our yarn colors are on the website. I only put out a couple of representatives here. All the sport weight is 250 yards per skein, and they are $24.75 for the dyed and $18.75 for the natural gray. And again, if you put together a kit of the pattern for the shawl and 2 skeins of those, it's going to be $51.50. The shawl pin was a gift, and I have since had replicas made. The person who made this originally is no longer doing it. So if you really love the shawl pin and you're smitten with it, $28 for the Dragonfly shawl pin. It's pewter, and it would go with anything because what doesn't go with silver? So that's an option. We have the 3-ply bulky Cotswold. I do have it in white, and I have dyed colors, and again the dyed colors are on the website, nistockfarms.com. Look on the yarn page. The bulky skeins are 115 yards per skein. The white is $22.75 and the dyed is $29.25. We have 2 patterns that you can accomplish with 1 skein. This simple hat, which is kind of fun because you can turn it inside out and all of a sudden it's got a different texture and a different look. And fingerless mitts, which are easy, should fit just about anybody. Nice and easy to do. And again, we can kit those patterns and yarn together for you. A dyed skein and a pattern is going to be $36. Natural white skein and pattern is going to be $26. The patterns are not on the website. So anything you want me to put together, any questions you have, just PM me or send an email through the website. Okay, here's something fun. This is core spun rug yarn. It's Cotswold wool wrapped around a cotton cord in the center. We have bumps, both white and dyed. The dyed bumps are all on the website. They're on the yarn page, probably way down near the bottom, but they're all individually listed by color. The bumps are about 100 yards each, give or take. And you can do a whole bunch of fun stuff with them. I have a friend who made this rug out of one, and it's sewn. I'm like, wait, knitted, crocheted? What do you mean sewn? And she said she started in the center on her sewing machine, and she used invisible nylon thread, and she just took the end and started sewing, and then she just kept adding on and adding on and adding on, so your work is always on the outside of your sewing machine arm, and she just kept turning and turning and turning and adding on the one strand on the side, and this came out of one bump. And so I thought that was really clever. I never in this world would have thought of sewing with the core spun, and it comes out like that. So that was different and fun. I knitted a sample of something just so that I would know what it was like to work with. This took a number 17 knitting needle. I'm not sure what that would equate to for a crochet hook if you wanted to crochet with it, but it's so nice and thick and squishy. Imagine being the hockey mom that gets to sit on this on the bleachers. One bump made this little basket and a trivet, and I had a little bit left over, so I just braided it up. You could probably make a dog leash, maybe a halter, handles. It's certainly strong enough to be handles. So use your imagination, and if you choose to get the white and want to dye it, it's Cotswold, so it will take dye like crazy. Something we carry in the booth only is silk. Silk is dandy for blending. it goes well with Cotswold because it has such a smooth, long staple, and it also is shiny the way Cotswold is, so the two play well together. So if you see a color here that you like, you'll have to PM me or send an email because, like I say, it's not on the website. So I've got comb top. These happen to be the colors that I have right now. They're all half-ounce bags for $4.75. Red, pink, purple, yellow, orange, kind of a nice woodsy brown. I have a couple that are tricolor. This is yellow, light brown, dark brown, kind of like a honey color. And I have just one of these guys, dark brown, red, and orange together. Here's another tricolor. I've got pink, gray, and lavender. And then I've got blue, green, turquoise, lilac, and I have a few black. And again, these are all half-ounce, $4.75. I have white combed or silk top, 1 ounce for $7.50. I can get this in bigger quantities if you need more. So that is the white. I have white undyed silk hankies, half-ounce for $4, 2 ounce for $14, and I do have more of these available. I have dyed a lot of silk hankies. They're dandy for using in felting, paper making. You can actually spin, or, well, of course you can spin them. You can knit from them without even spinning them. So I've got a lot of different colors here. If you see a color, I usually do 3 colors together, so there's a lot of blended shading in there. There's a few that are solid colors. If you see one that speaks to you, just send me a PM and say, oh, I like the woodsy one, oh, I like the hot pink one, and I can send you more photos to be sure we're talking about the same creature. These are half-ounce for $7.50, and these are all the colors I happen to have right now. I have silk lap, which is like a giant bat of silk layers, but they're not flat and smooth like a hanky. They're all little crinkly fibers. You can pull the layers apart. Again, felt with them, spin with them. You can pull right from the end of the bat, pardon me, and it makes a very nubbly textured yarn. Of course, it takes dye like crazy. And it's very soft. Soft. So the big sheets are fun. This one is 32 by 64, 11 ounces for $85. That's the only one I have right now. Then the other silk item I have is sari silk waist. This is essentially a comb top, and besides the main color, in this case it's a brown, it has threads of other colors of silk running through it. This would be marvelous for blending. So it can be spun by itself. It's not as soft as you might think, so you could certainly do it, but it might surprise you. It's not as smooth and nice as you might think it would be. But it would be fun to spin one strand of this and then ply it against something else, a solid white, a solid anything. Wouldn't that be fun? So I've got a lot of different colors here. They're 4 ounces for $19.50. I have a couple small samplers that are 3 ounces for $16. I think there's 6 different colors of the sari silk in there. The one caveat I would caution you, these are not dyed by me, so I can't guarantee that they won't bleed when you handle them in water. So before you work with them, I would suggest doing a little test on them and see if they're going to be color fast for you. It would be a shame to incorporate them into something very pale colored and then have them bleed all over it. So that's the sari silk, and again, none of this silk is on the website. So if something here strikes your fancy, send me a PM or get in touch with me through the website contact page. Here are some fancy fibers that we carry. We love our Cotswold very much, but sometimes you want something a little different, a little softer and fancier. So I have some 50-50 baby alpaca tussa silk blend top. I think I only have one white left, and this would take dye nicely if white really isn't your thing. But I have one white, I have gray, I have a light brown, and I have this black, which I think looks really dramatic because the silk pops out so much against it. As you can imagine, it's comb top, so it's a real smooth preparation, so soft. So those are fancy. 4 ounces for $17.50. Then I have baby camel and silk, 4 ounces for $24. And as you can imagine, this is like handling a cloud. It's baby camel and silk. Don't know what else to say about it except, oh my gosh, it's so soft. And I like that color very much. Then I've got 50/50 Yak Mulberry Silk Blend. I have a 3-ounce package for $24. I've got a 4-ounce package for $32. They're designated light and dark brown. There's not a whole lot of difference between the light and the dark to my eye, but there is some difference. And again, yak and silk. This is just stupidly soft. And like, just like handling warm butter. It's amazing. So this would be beautiful no matter what you made of it. Shiny from the silk, just lovely. So those are some fancy fibers. Sometimes you want some glitter in your fiber. We carry both Firestar and Angelina. Both of them will give shine and luster to your fibers. They're primarily meant to be blended in with other things. They're not particularly easy to spin nor soft and nice just by themselves. And a little bit of glitter goes a long way. First we have Firestar. Firestar is a trilobal nylon. It's a synthetic. The fibers are quite fine. If you look at them in cross-section, they look like tiny little pyramids, triangles. So the 3 sides make a shine no matter which side you have the fiber on. Like I say, it's not particularly soft by itself. You probably could spin it straight, but it's not real soft. It takes dye like crazy. Firestar is really nice if you have a dye pot that hasn't exhausted all the way. You can throw an ounce or so in and it will just slurp up the dye, and then you'll have some dyed spinning fiber as well as clearing up your dye pot. We have it in larger containers. Here's 4 ounces for $13. And I also have dyed a whole lot of like one-of-a-kind colors, ½ ounce for $2.95. These are just whatever needed to be exhausted out of my various dye pots. So I've got some melon color, bright yellow, some green, different pinks, blue. Here's one that was kind of a pink and a blue together. I also have some green Firestar from Ashland Bay, 1 ounce for $2.50. I don't think they make this anymore, although I'm not positive. They call it green, but it actually also has a few other subtle colors in it. There's some blue and even some gold, if you can see that. So I have that available too. So Firestar will give a glimmer or a shine, whereas Angelina will give sparkle. Angelina is a 2-sided fiber, cut very narrow, and the staple is quite long on it. So a little bit goes a long way. Some is finer than others. This is kind of a normal cut. It feels like a synthetic. It's not bad, but it doesn't feel like a natural fiber. Then I have some that is a much finer fiber. It's just cut more narrow. A little bit softer, but again, once you put it in other fiber, the texture just totally disappears, and it's just there for glitter. Now I've got a lot of different colors. All these colors have names. If you've used a color in the past that you like and you want more, see if I have it. I might. I can also possibly provide you with quantities larger than these little ½ ounce bags. Just depends on what you need, what you want. If you're not sure what you want, just say, show me all your blues, show me all your greens, and I will take a picture and send it to you so you can decide. These colors are not on the website. I don't have the Angelina or the Firestar on the website. So if you're interested, just PM me, or you can send me an email through the website. And so the Angelinas are $2.95 for a half ounce. The Firestars are, what did I say? Where are they? Here they are. Also $2.95 for half an ounce. So add some sparkle to your day. Cotswold curls. Boy, do we have curls. Oh, they're so much fun. I love to use curls for embellishment. You can use them on cuffs, on collars. I've seen people make feather boas out of them, only they use the curls instead of feathers. Stoles. They're great in needle felting. They're dandy to make doll hair, mermaid hair, witch hair. You can use them in needle felted landscaping so that they're wavy water, they're waterfalls, you blow them apart and they're bushes. All sorts of good uses for curls. We have some natural color ones. I have white and natural color gray. I don't have these on the website because they are a fair amount of work, and so I keep them just in the booth. But I have them here, so if you see them, you can send me a PM or you can get hold of me through the website. These are all washed and ready to use. They're completely free of any VM. They are a little bit butter colored on the tips, but they are a natural product and they were in the summer sun, so there's a little bit of color change there, which just makes them look more realistic, I think. And the grays, I used a blend of light gray curls and darker gray curls. And so they're all washed and ready for your crafting needs. The dyed ones, I put together some autumn colors, which I think are awfully pretty. There's dark purple, black, green, brown, yellow, gold ochre, mossy green. I've got a few of those packages, 3 or 4 I think. I have Party in a Bag, which is 5 ounces of mixed colors for $35. These aren't seconds or anything, they're just extra curls that I've been accumulating, and we put them in a bag. So you've got some of all kinds of colors, different lengths, but again, all very, very clean. No chaff or VM in there that you're going to have to throw away. Then I have individual colors. I keep them packaged this way so that they don't get felted or mushed in transit, because they look best when they're all clean and free-flowing. And when you get your package of them, just take the lid off, tip them out, shake them up, and there's all your curls. All arranged, ready to go, all organized, laid out, nice and shiny, pretty, pretty. All of these tubs are 1 ounce, and they're all $7.99. So if you see a color that you love, just send me a PM or a contact on my website, because these aren't on the website. These are a booth special only. If you have a color you're lusting after and you don't see it here, let me know and I will try and dye it for you if you're interested. And I did have a couple that I got crazy with, and I did 3 colors on the same lock. So these guys are orange at the butt, pink in the middle, and this light green on the tips. And then this one is more of a dark orange, spruce in the middle, and almost a black. It's a dark brown, but it looks almost black on the butt. So this is Safari, and this guy is Water Lilies. So those are our dyed curls, and any questions, just let me know. And now that you've got your fine woolen creations done, you're going to need something with which to wash them and protect them. We carry Unicorn products, which include Power Scour, Fiber Wash, and Fiber Rinse. The Power Scour is for your raw fleeces to lift the grease and the dirt. Your Fiber Wash is for your completed garments, your sweaters, your blankets, your scarves to wash when they need it. And the Fiber Rinse is a conditioner that you put on your woolen goods, probably your alpaca goods or any other fiber good, after it's been washed. So we have a small container 3-pack for $13. If you want to try, that's a nice way. That also makes a nice gift for somebody that you know is a knitter or a spinner and has fiber things and wears them. And then if you want to buy just individually, the small Power Scour is $4.99. The tall Power Scour is $17.30. Small Fiber Wash $4.75. Large Fiber Wash $15.75. Small Fiber Rinse $3.99. Large Fiber Rinse $13.25. These are not on the website, so you'll have to send me a PM or contact me through the website. Then after you've washed and dried your goods and you're going to put them away for a while, or you have a stash of yarn or unspun fiber, you're going to need some essential oils to protect them from moths and other bug pests. I have 5 scents that will both repel insects and smell nice to people. There are some essential oils which repel insects but smell just god-awful, and you don't want your woolen smelling like them. There are also some essential oils that smell lovely to people and insects just laugh at them. So these 5 seem to be a happy medium. They both repel insects and smell nice. I have good old cedarwood, which smells like your cedar chest. I also have eucalyptus. Both of these are $3.75. These are all half-ounce containers, which is approximately 15 mils. I have citronella for $3.95. I have rosemary for $4.25. And I have good old lavender for $5.25. My own personal favorites are the eucalyptus and the rosemary. I love them the most. These are essential oils, so they are a volatile oil. They will evaporate over time. When I use them to protect my stash or my yarn or my woolen goods, I usually put a few drops on a cotton ball or one of those square makeup removal squares that you get in the makeup department. Put a few drops on and then drop the cotton in your container, your drawer, put the lid on, whatever. You'll have to replace them every once in a while because the oils will essentially evaporate and not be protecting them anymore. Some people also put these in diffusers just to scent their house. Not everything that's natural is safe. Some essential oils can be bad for your cats, dogs, birds, other small pets. If in doubt, consult your veterinarian before you use them widely in your house. If you have a shut drawer that the scent is not leaking out of, I don't think it's going to be a problem. But if you think you want to use them in your diffuser and have the smell all through the house, it might be smart to ask your veterinarian. And again, these are not on the website, so just contact me. Okay, now we're going to move on to blending boards. Blending boards are a wonderful fiber artist tool. They are essentially a palette for placing fiber that you're then going to spin with or felt with. There's no firm mixing action like there is with a drum carder or with hand cards where you're mechanically blending the fibers. That can be a really good thing because if you want to keep your colors discreet, you can do so because they will stay where you put them. If you have just a small amount of fancy fiber and you don't want to lose any of it in processing, you can use the blending board yourself to put in different colors, add some glitter, mix a couple of different types of fiber to see how they're going to perform in a larger lot. So anyway, our blending boards are made from oak, which we actually get out of our own woods, and Andy does all the milling himself and constructing of the board. Everything we do here by ourselves. So the blending board has carding cloth on the front of it. This is about a 12-inch square, which is pretty typical of most blending boards. We have two different types. We have a 72 tooth per inch, which this is. We also have a cloth with many more teeth. It's 120 TPI. And if you are a person who does almost exclusively very fine fibers, fine alpaca, silk, yak, things like that, you might want to consider a finer blending board cloth. But for most everyone's applications, the 72 tooth is just fine. So we have the board, we have a keel which swivels, and you can detach it. We have a brush made of the same carding cloth which you paint your fiber on with. Some people also later add a stiff bristled paintbrush or a toothbrush. People have their own likes and dislikes, but this basic brush will definitely do most jobs and get you started. You have a pair of very smooth dowels for doffing your bat after you have it on the board. You roll it up and off. We have a non-skid mat in case you want to do it on the tabletop instead of on your lap. The keel is meant to go between your thighs, and you have the board either to your right or your left, depending on whether you're right or left-handed. But if you don't want to do that, you can work it on a tabletop. The non-skid mat under the board will keep it from scooting around on your table. And you also get a case to carry it in and store it in. This is on the website. Price is $159. However, we do not have a buy now button for it because they're rather large and shipping costs vary so much depending on where you live, that if you want one, we're happy to figure out what your shipping cost will be, let you know, and then when we have a total, we send you a PayPal invoice, or you are welcome to send a check by snail mail. So that's our blending board. Okay, every spinner needs a lazy Kate to hold your bobbins while you're plying. Some lazy Kates hold 2 bobbins or 3 bobbins. We've made a lazy Kate that'll hold 4 bobbins. So for all you folks that want to do 4-ply yarns, this is the this is the lazy Kate you're going to need. We call it the quad because it handles 4 bobbins. It has nice feet on the bottom so that it won't skid around. We have 2 different models, one in solid cherry, one in maple. Again, all this wood comes from our woods on our property, and Andy mills it and turns it into these lovely products. We think that your fiber tools should be functional, but they should also be a pleasure to handle and use and look at. So, the best feature about this Quad Kate, aside from its prettiness, is that it has a storage cubby for the rods that you will put your bobbins on. So when you're traveling, you just pop them in there and you don't have to worry about them getting lost. The cubby has a little catch that snaps, so you know that the rods are in there and you won't lose them. So you seat your rods firmly into the little receptacles. You don't have to use all 4. If you only want to do a 3-ply, of course, leave one in the cubby. And then you put on your bobbins. These are Louette bobbins. They have a pretty large whorl. We can do a custom order. If for some reason your bobbins are larger than these, we can make it a little bit wider for you. But if in doubt, send us the measurement of your bobbin and we'll tell you if it'll fit. It should. These are pretty big. So you thread your yarn through the little eyes in any configuration you want, just to keep them from tangling as you're plying. I didn't bring a 4th bobbin up. And then you ply from there. This model is nice and sturdy. It's fairly heavy, and you can put it across the room if you want to, so that it's far away from you as you're plying. That'll help with your tensioning and evening out the twist in your plies, or twist in your singles. So that's the Quad Kate. They are $90 for the maple and $99 for the cherry. They will be on the website. They are on the website. You can press the buy now button and make a quad Kate yours. I'd like to talk just a minute about frames. Rug hooking, rug punching, and punch needle embroidery can be done on embroidery hoops, but it's very difficult to keep the foundation cloth taut enough while you're working. The solution to that is a frame with gripper teeth on the edges. We use Howard brush gripper strips, and the nice part about these is that when you put them over a nice rounded edge of your frame, the teeth, which point out and down, follow the curve of your frame, and when you stretch your fabric over them, it can't help but be held by those teeth, so you can get it really, really drum tight. So we have 3 different types of frames. Rug hooking, whether you are hooking with strips or yarn, you need to have one hand under your work to hold your yarn or your strip, and you're using a punch tool from above, a hook from above. So you need legs. Rug hooking frames need legs. We have a couple of different models of rug hooking frames. This particular one is a beginner model that does not collapse. We also have a collapsible rug hooking frame with legs that will fold up. The unit drops down and you attach it to the base, and it's only about that thick, so you can transport it easily if you're traveling. So you do need legs for rug hooking. Oxford rug punching does not need legs because you don't need to have your hand underneath. You're using your tool from above. The yarn or wool strip is staying on the proper side of your work, which is underneath, and you don't need to have your hand under there. We generally have these braced against a tabletop on your lap, so again, you don't need legs. They're also a fairly deep frame because your punch tool is going down through your foundation fabric, and you don't want it to hit your table or your leg or whatever is underneath the frame. Then the third frame we make is a punch needle embroidery frame. This is the same as the Oxford, except that it is not as deep. The punch needle embroidery tool does not have a needle that is so long that it needs to be as deep as the Oxford style. So those are the 3 styles of frame we make. Here's something we're really excited about. This is our 100% Cotswold from our flock wool rug yarn. I had it designed specifically for rug punching with the Oxford punch tool. I had thought it was going to come back as a bulky, but it actually came back as a light worsted weight. It's a 3-ply, and it fits beautifully through the Oxford fine needles. You could put 2 strands through an Oxford regular needle, but this is going to be great for the Oxford fine. This is kind of a cream color. It's off-white, and I haven't even had a chance to work up a segment of it myself to show you, but there's no reason it won't work beautifully. It has the sheen of Cotswold, and of course it's strong, 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 so it'll be perfect for rugs. I'm thinking it's probably going to be a 2-ounce skein, which ought to give you about 65 yards for around $12. Like I say, that's not finalized yet, but I think that's what it'll be. This is not yet on the website, but if you are looking for rug yarn for hooking or punching, this might be just what you want, and I would love to fix you up. So send me a PM or contact us through the website, and I'm happy to send you out a couple yard sample if you want to try it out and see how it works for you. It'll take dye beautifully because it's Cotswold. I don't have any dyed colors yet. I hope to. It's on my list. I have a long list, but it will take dye very, very well. Oxford rug punch frames. We have different sizes starting at 10 by 10 up to 18 by 18. This is a 14 by 14. We carry all the Oxford rug punches, both boxed and unboxed. If you're not familiar with Oxford rug punching, it's a marvelous way to eat up scads of hand-spun yarn, or any yarn that you have left over. If you're not familiar with it, I strongly recommend you go to Amy Oxford's rug punching site. She is the writer of this book. This is the Bible for rug punching. It's a wonderful book which we carry. It's not on the website, but it is just so full of inspiration, but also just good technical information. How to get started, how to finish, how to trace a pattern. Everything you need to know is in this book. It's a marvelous book. So we carry all the needles from regular tip to fine. Regulars will handle a 3-ply bulky yarn. The fines handle what's like a light worsted. As long as it goes through the eye of that needle, you can use it. You can also strand multiple thinner yarns into a regular eye for just using it up faster if all you have is fine yarns. The unboxed needle comes with just the needle, 32. The box needle comes in a box, which includes a stitch gauge and a handy little pamphlet, which also is kind of like the Cliff Notes version of the bigger book. It's enough to get you started, but it's not nearly as comprehensive as the book, obviously. That is 39. We carry monk's cloth, which is the foundation cloth you need for rug punching and rug hooking. I carry fat quarters, full yards, and 2-yard packs. These are on the website. I can put together a kit for you for getting started with Oxford Rug Punch. That would include one of our 10 by 10 frames, a fat quarter of monk's cloth, and the boxed Oxford needle of your choice. And I'll help you decide what needle you use. The needle part varies in length, which gives you different height loops. And then depending on what your yarn stash is, you might prefer a fine needle versus a regular needle. So I can help you get that figured out. So anyway, we can put together a basic beginner's kit. I think they're $89, but I will have to check the website for that. And additionally, we carry frame cozies for all our frames. We have 3 different sizes, small, medium, and large. These are made of faux fleece. They're wonderfully soft and very cushiony. You use these on your frames either when the frame is empty and you want to store it, it protects the teeth, but more importantly, when you're actually working on your project, you want a way to protect your hands from these teeth, because even though your foundation cloth is over them, especially these corner points, they work through, and boy, they can really cut your hands and scratch badly. So we have 3 different size frame cozies that will stretch around your frame and protect your teeth, your work, and your hands all at the same time. These also are listed online. It gives the dimensions of frame that they will cover. If you have a frame and you need a cover, just measure the outside of your frame, and then you can look online and decide what size cozy you need. So that covers our Oxford goods. Now we're going to talk about frames for punch needle embroidery. We make 2 different standard sizes for punch needle embroidery, small and a large. The actual dimensions are on the website, and these items are on the website to purchase right off there. Both of them can come with a turntable. When you are punching, you have a design, you want to follow the contours of your design. And so we've made a turntable that will move your frame around for you rather than dragging it on your tabletop and being annoying. So we have the small frame, the large frame, and if you buy the turntable at the same time as the frame, there is a discount. I think it's $5, I think. The nice part about our setup with the turntable and the frame is you can take the frame off. There are other models which have turntables, which are lovely, but often you have to hold them at arm's length to peek through a hole. Ours, you just pick it up, look at your work, yep, that's doing what I want it to do, and then you put it right back down on your turntable. And the turntable has feet, nice soft rubber feet so that it won't skid around, and it also won't mar your table, but the feet aren't so obtrusive, but what you could put it on your lap if you want, and the feet won't be poking you. We are happy to do custom sized orders with all our frames, punch needle embroidery, rug hooking, and the Oxford sizes. This is a custom order punch needle embroidery frame that's going to be heading to Florida. This is 12 by 24, and this is actually going to ship disassembled, so that will save on shipping. So if you have a desire for a custom size on any type frame, please let us know. We're happy to accommodate you. I carry Ultra punch needle tools. We have the full 3 needle set for $26. I also carry individual replacement needles, small, medium, and large. I also carry packs of 2 of the fine wire threaders to put your floss through the handle. Those prices are all on the website. This can be purchased off the website. Not on the website is Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, which is a wonderful publication. It comes out 4 times a year. It's themed seasonally, spring, summer, fall, and winter. This is the current spring issue. The thing I really enjoy about this magazine is that every project that's featured, and there's 12 to 15 projects per issue, for every project featured, they give you the full-size pattern right in the magazine for you to work from. So you don't have to hunt down the designer and go online, find the pattern. Boom, the pattern's right there for you to use. So it's punch needle and stitching, but I find that the stitch patterns and the punch needle patterns can be interchanged pretty easily. So lots of fun stuff. This one, like I say, is spring. Here is a back issue. Summer. They're just a very nice publication. So if you're looking for projects around a certain season, or if you know you're missing an issue, give me a PM or contact me by email, and I'll look in my stash and see if I have what you might need. If you're just getting into punch needle embroidery, we do put together a kit. For $58, we give you a small punch needle frame, just the frame, no turntable, a fat quarter of weaver's cloth to get you started, and the punch needle set. So that's pretty good savings to get it all together for $58. I also carry the weaver's cloth packed in fat quarters, half yards, and full yards, and those also are on the website. So we've got foundation cloth for both types of disciplines, the punch needle embroidery and rug hooking / rug punching. So any other questions, just give me a PM or contact me through email.